Friday for the Nerd Den! Woo! Yay! Woohoo!
Yay!
It's just us. It's just us tonight, guys.
It's just us leaguers.
Three guys with nothing else in their lives. So we're
I have a wife and kids, but you know.
Yeah, well,
I my family just understands that you guys are more important.
It's three guys, one cup.
All right.
You.
Okay. All right. So, Todd, shall I? All right. So what? So, should I begin or?
Yeah, go for it. What's up? How's your week, man? What's going on?
My week is it's all right. It's the off season down here, so the streets of Daytona Beach, which are usually filled with drunken frat boys and sorority girls and Florida men, are now just filled with people who, for some reason, decide that December is the best time to visit the beach in Florida. I actually saw like two girls in bikinis swimming in the Atlantic Ocean. Bear in mind, it's warm. It's kind of warm outside. It's still the North Atlantic. The surfers are wearing wearing bodysuits now when they go out there, not because they want to look slick, because believe it or not, water and the water temperature is actually misleading. If the water temperature says 70 degrees, it's knock off 20 degrees off of that for the actual effect it'll have on your body.
Mm.
So you're basically swimming in 50-degree water. I think at 10 minutes of that, and if you fall into 50-degree water in the open ocean, you'll be dead in about 10 minutes from hypothermia.
Okay.
So I don't know why people are swimming in it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I used to see people swim in the East River.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a whole other level of crazy right there.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was up in before I left, so there's this place in New York called the Gowanus Canal. It's like this little strip of water that separates Brooklyn from Queens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're both on the same island, but it's like this little inlet. And for years, it was basically like an open sewer, because there was a lot of factories, they needed water access. They were all built up on this little strip of water. There were docks. They dump all their shit into the water. I think at one point someone actually found a dead dolphin floating in there.
It doesn't surprise me.
It's basically the mother of all Superfund sites.
Yeah. And
today it's not. They're trying to rebrand it as the Venice of New York. There's $1 million condos built alongside it, and there are people who even go canoeing on it. There's actually a Gowanus boating club. I've seen a sign for it.
Oh, okay. Hey, what's up, MK? How you doing? Happy Friday.
But here's the thing. On an even moderately warm day, you can smell that place from 10 blocks away.
Yeah, I know.
It's like this. Think like a mix of rotten eggs, spoiled milk, cat puke, and that smelly homeless guy who basically clears out an entire car during rush hour.
Yeah, and New Yorkers say New Jersey smells.
Well, it's the New Jersey people that smell, to be fair.
No.
Well,
I mean, it's mostly just Elizabeth that smells. Elizabeth and that area.
Yeah, it's a.
So yeah, I mean.
Well, that's why I kind of Hey, what's up, KG? Happy Friday! Happy Friday! I got everybody showing up.
What's up?
Yeah, half the crew is like Flint's at a wedding. Andrew is traveling. I don't know where.
Or something.
Yeah, he's traveling. I don't know.
He babbled on about it, but I in one ear out the other with everything he says.
Yeah, I know. And Doc, I don't know where Doc is. Doc's been super busy, and Dusty is still working. We're trying to get everything. We have so much planned next year that we're trying desperately as a team to not work next week and the week after, so that we can deal. Hey, what's up, Richard? Richard says, "Who's Andrew?"
Yeah.
But yeah. So like, we're just trying to get everything ready. I talked to a crypto whale this week on Wednesday in London, and was asking him. We're trying to set something up for next year on a marketing side, and he said, "I said, yeah, you taking a couple days off for Christmas and New Year's?" And he just laughed because it's like the bull run and like nobody's taking anything off. But I'm forcing myself. Like next week, I'm gonna work, of course, but I'm not like no deadline. Just cruise and relax a little bit as I work, because it's gonna be absolutely nutty, man. And yeah, it's gonna be insane. Yeah, hold on. I think. Oh yes, I think my wife just popped in. Are you looking for this? No. What? Hold on for a second. I'll be right back.
La la la, connect the dots. La la la.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm back because you guys can't hold a room.
Yeah.
No, well, we were about to start spewing racist comments.
I know. That's what happens.
Jokes about the.
No.
The Jews.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're getting really set up to bust out, man. I'm very nervous about it because we spent basically all this year preparing for it, and we'll see. I'm ready for it. We're ready for it, but it's scary, man. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, well, enjoy the days off when you can get them. So that we're gonna need them.
I just need pages and scripts.
I know. Well,
I'm working on it, dude. I'm working on it. I meant to wrap up Clairvoyant today, but I just got slammed with work. So this weekend it's actually going to be chilly here, so I'm staying in.
Carrots! Everybody showing up.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yo.
Going. Yeah, we got the skeleton crew tonight too, which is great.
I would suggest something, but I don't want you doing stuck doing something you don't want to do. As far as a launch, like thanks Avery, you mentioned it.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm just saying I have an idea.
Richard wants to know if we should look for Carol Burnett outtake so we can get banned again.
I know. Those were so good though.
They were super good, man.
Well, I've started taking creatine as part of my weightlifting regimen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to go every day now.
Are you gonna start juicing?
Well, if I get, if I, I might, but
you can be like Grantham, like start lifting weights, get real buff, start juicing, have a baby with your wife, and then 2 months later. And then 2 months later, get busted for having a FetLife profile with a breeding kink, trying to knock up other chicks.
What the hell are we talking about?
First off, a couple of problems with that. First off, who the fuck is Grantham?
Oh, you guys don't know who Grantham is?
Grantham? No, I do not.
Oh, he's a big gun tuber.
Oh Lord.
He was big, and he made his whole image, dude, off of being like a trad person, dude. Married. I mean, he was divorced, but he was remarried. Got out of the Air Force, where he was like doing he did some kind of special ops training, is what he did.
So
and
go ahead.
He started taking steroids and putting on some muscle mass. His channel's freaking huge. And then he gets busted like trying to bang other chicks. It's like you just had a baby with your wife like 2 months ago, dude. And you're like on the website, like you're famous on the internet. Why do you have this like kink site profile trying to fuck other chicks and get them pregnant as your kink? What's wrong with you, dude?
That's really fucking weird, man. I don't know.
Like your cameraman left you. One of your other friends who was on there left you over this shit. Like terrible. Like what's wrong with you, dude? Like your
look at
wife.
this. Hold on, I got something for you.
And he had amazing content too. His content was amazing. It was so funny and entertaining.
Well, see, that's the thing. You never, we live in an age of in an age of deceit. An age where basically an age where everyone's fronting something.
Carrot says GunTube is gun enthusiasts on YouTube.
I
think
yeah,
so.
the review channels.
Avery is a purveyor. It all sounds like gibberish to me. It's always like they're always like, oh, the M4375B has a well-rounded.
There's a lot of people on YouTube who do reviews of said products, and they're very popular. And he was one of the most popular. He was huge, and he fucked it all up.
Yeah, a lot of people fuck shit up.
Yeah, I'm just like, what?
Well, like that's the thing though, is that we basically it's well, here's the thing. Whenever you go down to if you go down to Miami, you see all these crypto bros and whatnot who are going on their channels, like sitting on their Lamborghinis with like splashing the cash and all that. They're actually all broke as fuck. The cars and the clothes are all rented. It's literally fake it till you make it. I mean, we live in a very fake age, I'm afraid. And
yeah,
I mean, so the fact that some guy who's presenting himself as a trad masculine, gun enthusiast, and it turns out that he's actually, basically getting pegged and getting pegged and whipped probably, in his private life.
What are we talking about?
Because
yeah, his was a breeding kink. You wanted to knock up other chicks.
Well,
I'm like, dude, like you're supposed to you've been talking all this dad advice stuff, and yeah, you guys make edgy jokes on your channel, but this was too far.
Yeah, well, shit happens.
I'm like, at least Hickok 45 is still the internet's grandpa.
Yeah, Carrot says most of us mess up, but we just don't do it on that scale in public. And Richard says, give me a Ma Deuce anytime. I'm sure Avery would agree.
Oh God, yeah, dude, I wish. Yeah, Ma Deuce would be pretty rad.
I don't have any clue what that is.
The M2.
Yeah.
How do you know this? Is it like comics where you just
a 240? It's
a
240.
It's basically it was a heavy machine gun originally designed by John Browning. Probably the greatest gun designer who ever lived.
And they're still in use, and they rock.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll make sure I got this.
Anyway.
Like if you watch that video of the shooter in from that Las Vegas shooting where the guy was shooting from a hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that compare the audio.
Are we allowed to talk about this on YouTube?
I don't know.
The
videos are on YouTube.
We have gotten kicked off of streams more than anybody else. I swear to God.
No. Other people get way more than we do. Anyway, they compare the audio, right? And they're supposedly he was using ARs with a bump stock. They compared the audio to an AR with a bump stock, and it did not match. What it did match was a 240.
Hold on. So really quick, I'm gonna get I have not seen this. This is apparently this is a quick 45-second trailer, but apparently this is getting a bunch of like Hollywood directors and producers all excited and stuff. Hold on. Let's see. Here we go. It's like 45.
These are extraordinary times, and we face an extraordinary challenge. The dramatic achievements in space which occurred in recent weeks should have made clear to us all the impact of this adventure on the
It's all
minds
AI,
of men
right?
everywhere
I don't think so.
who are attempting to
Really?
make the determination of which road they should take. I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
Wow.
Nice. That's cool.
Was that AI or like
It's so
CGI?
hard to tell. I don't know. Let me read about it. Here, let me shift, and we'll read about it a little bit. Let's see. Edge of. Oh, I'm not sharing it yet. Sure. Edge of Space only becomes a talk at Tinseltown. Ambitious short film is garnering praise in Hollywood. Ron Howard, Roland Emmerich, and 300 producer Gianni Nunari are among admirers of the high-end short Edge of Space, which is set in 1961, during the height of the U.S.-Soviet space race, and depicts the journey of the determined USAF test pilot who was recruited by NASA for a daring suborbital mission in an X-15 hypersonic rocket-powered aircraft. That was the trailer. Let's see. It says, written and directed by Zurich Film Festival executive and former Roland Emmerich employee Jean de Miron. I'm butchering all these names. The film is inspired by historical events and stars Chad Michael Collins from Sniper. Oh, that's why I recognize him. Kimberly Alexander, Jackson Robert Scott from It, and Kevin LaRosa, the second, I guess, Top Gun Maverick aerial coordinator, among others. Edge of Space was 3 years in the making and was financed by de Miron and in large part by an old friend who wanted to help his buddy realize his passion project. It's the second short as a director and has unusually high production values and a deep bench of Hollywood vets among the crew. That's awesome. So now I guess it's getting to talk. Like, it's a short film, and I guess that what we saw is the trailer. I guess it's getting some considerations. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Carrot says it has some Right Stuff vibes to it. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Right Stuff was a great movie. That was a great movie.
Did you see the TV series? It was on like Disney Plus for like 5 minutes.
There was a Right Stuff TV series?
Yeah. When Disney Plus started, they basically Disney bundled up all the properties it had, and they had the national.
Hold on, Zach. I'm going to cut you off for a second. Richard's heading out. Richard says this old guy needs to go to bed and have some great nightmares. Good night, guys, and you all have a blessed and Merry Christmas.
You too, Richard.
You too,
Love you,
Richard.
Merry
buddy.
Christmas.
Yeah, man. Take it easy, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, and enjoy the season.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Disney owns National Geographic, and they tried for like 5 minutes to turn that into like another, I guess they figured that they had the kiddies with the Disney Channel, and the nerds with Marvel and Star Wars. So they I guess they wanted to make National Geographic like the dad channel. It didn't really work.
Yeah.
But it was a good. It was an okay series, but I hate to say it, but Tom Wolfe is not an easy writer to convert to film. I mean, they tried with the Bonfire of the Vanities and the. Hi, Dusty.
Gentlemen, how's it going?
Good.
Good.
Why are you here?
Yeah, I thought you were taking the night off.
Everything's fine.
I'm just working hard. But I was watching the live stream, and we're getting a little off track here, guys.
What?
About to come in and kick somebody.
What?
No.
Oh, come on.
We were totally on track
No,
for a train wreck.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with a few pegging jokes. I mean,
Great. I'm looking
No,
forward-
no, it's don't kink shame. I mean,
Kick button's coming, boys.
Bro,
all right. All right. So Todd, there was something I did want to talk about. More.
Garrett says, Dusty.
Yo, what up, Carrots?
Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off.
well, we're glad you're here, Dusty.
Yeah,
I'm
just
used
for
to
a
it.
few minutes. But I just want to say hi.
All right. So there are a couple of things I wanted to bring up
Okay.
that I think are interesting and kind of may point the way in the future for us. Because well, look, I think next year you're right. Things are going to change a lot, and not just because of the election. I think the election was just kind of like a sign. It was kind of like the thing that there's a vibe shift going on. And I think next year we're going to start seeing it. So, do you guys know what romantasy is?
I have no idea what this is.
Never heard of it.
It's the big thing in publishing right now.
Okay.
In books.
Romantasy.
Romantic fantasy.
Okay.
Now that's been around, from the very beginning. Basically, traditional romantic fantasy is like basically romance novels with fantasy elements.
Okay.
Or you can have like fantasy novels with romantic elements, which is known as for some reason as urban fantasy. Don't ask me why. So, but romantasy, it's stuff like The Fourth Wing.
Carrot says my daughter only reads romantasy.
Oh, so Carrots, you know what I'm talking about. It's like So basically, it's stuff like basically anything by I'm trying to remember some. So, all right, well, let me show you real quick, okay?
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to do a plug.
Okay.
I'm going to do a quick plug. So, guys, I don't know if you checked in Discord. Everyone's so over everything. It's pretty funny. It's wait, sorry. Carrot says it's dragons and smut.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll get to that. I do want to do a plug though. So long story short, back in the day, I released an EP, like electronic music album, like it was like 1997, and put everything on hold. I was in school, and of course, comics and art and the visual arts was my first love. But I still made a lot of beats and a lot of just sounds, and I have this massive library of stuff that I've made over the years. And this past year, I was like, you know what? As if I'm not busy enough, I need a effing hobby. And so what I decided to do was I decided to like start messing around with music and AI and kind of feeding all my stuff into it. And started working. Like I started getting some really interesting results and kind of learning some things. And so, fast forward to basically my birthday, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm putting an album out. So that's what happened. I got an album. We got a album that's come out. I'm gonna see if I can. I thought this was I'm not used to sharing like Spotify or anything like that. So I got to figure this out real quick. Hold on.
Todd, the only problem that I have here is your only hobby should be work.
It is Dusty Sky. You know how much we work. Don't even front. Don't even front. Like God, Lord knows we need to do something else. So this is Blue Kool-Aid right here. So this is the first album. We got a nice, it's like 10 tracks. It's pretty sick, man. I'm really happy with it. And so I hope you guys will check it out. The album's called Everything Always Forever. It's 100 DJ Wanish. Yeah, thanks, Kichi. It is 100% adult fantasy. It is the vibe of adult fantasy. Hey, what's up, Doc?
Hello.
Welcome.
So
it is the vibe of adult fantasy. It's all tied together. So the music will be in with images and it's all coming together. So you're going to see a lot of art and a lot of music and a lot of like game stuff, all kinds of crazy shit we're putting out next year. So this is sort of a hint of things to come. So do me a favor, check it out. Let me know if you like it. If not, let me know that too. I don't mind. I'm always down for criticism. It's cool. But the album name is Everything Always Forever, and the group name is Blue Kool-Aid, all one word, and the blue doesn't have an E on it. Why is this the name? Because that was what we picked out in like 1997, and I don't remember. There's a lot of drugs back then, guys. I don't really remember the lots, but you know.
You thought it was blue Kool-Aid, but you were really drinking Fabuloso.
Yeah, something. So yeah, but it was a lot of fun to put together, and yeah, it's on every single streaming service. So I just, I thought Spotify would look better than this on screen, but it doesn't. It looks like shit. So anyway, check it out. Let me know what you guys think. And
where'd you get that image? It's pretty crazy.
I made it. It's full. It's AI. You want to see it? I'll show you a close up of it.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
It's actually, interestingly enough, MK, AF, guns, breeders, romantasy, blue Kool-Aid.
I was supposed to have the night off, MK. I was supposed to have the night off to work, and here I am. So
no, you didn't have to come. We stopped.
No.
We stopped.
No. Next year we're gonna have topics, guys. we're gonna actually focus this motherfucking train. Oh God. It's so funny. Here, I'll show you the album cover. So believe it or not, this was like, I think people have a misunderstanding of AI, like you just push button get thing. MK says sounds legit.
Sounds like a good time.
And let's see. Yes, there you go. And yeah, like, let me zoom in.
It almost reminds me of something like Ashley Wood would do.
Oh, I can see that. And yeah, people have this weird thing of like AI where like you just push button get image, and certainly you can. But that's not this, man. It took me hours to get this to where I liked it. And there's still like one or two things on there that I'm like, oh yeah, I should have fixed that. But yeah, man, I'm really happy with it. I absolutely love that I've got this girl over here. One, it helps with the scale, so you can kind of imagine the sculpture being huge. Also,
Yeah.
this may or may not be a future adult fantasy character. So, like I said, it all ties together. And yeah, this
I love that she's totally disinterested in
that's what I love. Like she's her back is to this cool sculpture, and she's like on her phone.
Yeah.
Like, completely modern, like doesn't give a shit. I love it.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
She's ordering a matcha smoothie from next door right now.
Yeah, totally. She's like she's like taking a selfie and posting it on Instagram to show that she was in the museum, but she's not actually caring about like what's in the museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Totally modern. So
that is just awesome. It's like,
thanks, man.
That's got to be a sculpture.
It looks
that'd be like a cool thing to actually model and do like a resin print of.
Yeah.
I tried to convince my wife that the kids, my oldest one, needed a 3D resin printer for Christmas. And she's like, who's it really for? Like, well, the family.
MK says, love the AF crew. Got to run an next appointment. Have a great Christmas, Kwanzaa, and all. Enjoy some downtime.
Nice.
Thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah, man. Have a good night. And yeah, I cannot believe that Christmas Kwanzaa is next week.
Yeah, that's what got me, dude. I started when I read Christmas Kwanzaa. I was like, oh god, it's so good.
That's pretty much where we are now. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta fire off a few Amazon orders tonight and cross fingers.
I know.
It's like a Snow White, but
yeah,
with a 90s. I think the prompt was like Snow White, a marble sculpture of Snow White, because that's why I had this image of this character that's kind of like a like a sexy Snow White or something. holding like a 90s comic book rifle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's got like the Doc Martin
Yeah, the combat boot.
combats on.
Yeah. And there's like this weird like tech, like that almost looks like a cable like rocket launcher laser gun in the back or something.
Yeah.
This actually comes from an idea. Like I have a bunch of sketchbooks, and like I had years ago, I had an idea to do this sculpture. So this came from an idea for a sculpture of this, like years that that I came up with years ago. And of course, I won't be making it into a marble sculpture anytime soon. So I was like, well, fuck it. Let me just put it into. Let me combine. It's a character, so let me put it into our music, and let me like hook it up as a sculpture and see what happens. See what it looks like. KG says he's tapping out too.
Oh, KG, what's up, dog?
Happy holidays, boys. Cheers. KG, love you, buddy. Thank you so much for stopping by, man. I'm surprised that anyone stopped by. It's like Christmas time and like end of the year. Like
Yeah.
you know?
It's great to just stop by at all. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
man.
fantastic.
Absolutely.
We might have another listener actually, or a viewer actually. I today caught up with one of my oldest, closest, best friends that I went to high school with, and we had a long call. And he's got like his Max action figure on the shelf behind him.
Oh, nice.
A bunch of
Nice.
yeah. He's had that forever, man. And I was like, bro, you need to watch the stream or just come on sometime. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like the equivalent of like how you guys are friends, like the same kind of thing.
Sure. What you don't have to doc. What's the first initial of his name?
M.
All right. So M. Dude.
Call him Bike Maker. The Pharaoh Bike Maker.
Okay. M Bike Maker. Look, I just want to say, talking about dudes having a kink breeding people is not normal.
Whatever. Apparently, I missed something good.
You know,
That's totally on
all the
brand.
talk that was
That's totally on
happening
brand.
On stream, the reason Dusty is here on his night off has
Okay,
nothing
he
to do.
I'm working my ass off over here, and I have to like now.
I
multitask. Fine.
I stopped talking. I dropped the subject.
I have like 4 monitors with like 12 windows open right now. One of them is over here. But, it's fine.
Todd's the one that brought it back up.
What? Don't blame me.
You just brought it back up.
I'm trying to apologize.
Don't apologize. You did nothing wrong. Stop
Yeah.
kink shaming.
Oh God, it's fine.
Todd's like, is the short stream over yet? I want to go.
Yeah, are we done?
Are we done?
Yeah, like half the crew is like off just doing stuff. So it was like,
Yeah.
we almost were like in the green room. I was like, oh shit, maybe we should just like not go live. But
Yeah.
but that was like, no,
Can't
we
go
we
live.
need to talk about kink shaming. So let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, Doc, how
I'm
are
just
you, man?
saying,
What's going on?
just not the thing you should be into if your wife just had a baby.
I apparently really did miss something earlier.
I was talking about a YouTuber who got busted doing something
Oh,
he
okay.
shouldn't have been, and
Ah.
ruined his whole career
Mm,
and legitimacy.
well, it's
It
a lot
happens.
of that. A lot of that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All for that hopeful next subscriber.
A lifelong subscriber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doc, how are you, man?
I'm all right, dude. I'm cool. We got
Yeah.
so much like kid school holiday stuff. Tomorrow it's breakfast with the Grinch somewhere. I was looking forward to that one, I guess. A lot of craft baking
Is it
going
now?
on
Is it
right
actually the Grinch, or is this just like a family member that you call the Grinch?
now. nah. Yeah, they got someone at the community center, so that ought to be exciting. Yeah, things are cool, man. Things are cool. getting excited about just a lot of stuff in general. Next year is going to be cool. Got more on my plate than I probably know what to do with, but AI's kicking. Yeah, things are good.
Zach is like spamming the private chat.
Yeah, I see that.
Zach,
yeah, I am
you don't
brilliant.
have to ask permission to talk, my friend. You can hit the little button and talk whenever you want.
I hadn't seen anything cool. Oh, so my buddy's like, so I was talking to my buddy though, and I'm like, hey, dude, what is that slabbed on the wall behind you? He's got a book there, and he's like, oh, it's like Fantastic Four number 89, signed by Stan Lee. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what's the grade on that? He's like, it's not good because some kid drew on a page or something. I guess he went to a Goodwill and he found in a box. He's like, I got this box. Yeah. So listen, he's like, I got this box, and it was sealed, and I wasn't even sure what was in it. He's just like, but it was a long box, right? A couple long boxes. And he's like, it was sequentially ordered Fantastic Four. I don't know the condition.
So what? I would have bought the box.
He did. Yeah, he did. He bought the whole box.
Fuck.
So I don't know why that was the one that he took to the conference to get signed. If that was the best of them, I don't know. But he said, what else did he say was in there? Something else too. I don't remember. Like, he's not a super huge comic book guy, but he is he's definitely like, he used to read. Like he and I told you before, like I had a buddy that it reintroduced me to comics in high school, and we were all pals around, like, and my buddy and his dad, they had, dude, they would have like 3 or 4 stacked high 4-back full of long boxes in like their comic room, just like with everything you could ever imagine in it, because his dad was collecting from a long time ago. And so, so I gotta talk to him more about this and see exactly what's in there. But I was like, dude, that's kick ass,
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's I'm a little jealous because that's like kind of the dream.
Right. Yeah. To
like just randomly walk in to a store and like find like, a signed book by Stan Lee.
Well, no, he had it slabbed. He took that to the convention and then he had that done. But but he still got like the full box of like in orders. It was already sequential, just like a bunch of Fantastic Fours, which is crazy. But you're right. I always see these people, because I'm in like a couple toy collecting groups on Facebook and stuff like that. And it'll be these people. And I guess, to their credit, they probably spend a lot of time going around their region and doing Craigslist ads or whatever. But they'll be like, oh, from the garage sale haul today. And it'll just be like, oh, it's only like the second most rare, G.I. Joe, whatever vehicle thing that's out there. And like all these like, new in box kind of shit. Just like, you assholes. When do I get some of that, man?
I know, man. I know. Well, even like just the random things, like I'm in the mode now where I don't even care about the condition. Like, we've talked about this. Like, I have like, I've got all this, and a lot of it is nice and all that. But I have like stacks now that are just like reader copies. Right. Like, I'm never gonna grade it. I don't want. I purposely, and I've argued with Andrew about this, but I purposely am buying comics to not bag and board, just so I can grab it and open and read it.
Yeah.
And look at
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Because taking it out of the sleeve actually takes effort. And so I'm just like, I can have multiple copies. Like, I can have one that I don't touch that's kind of like my mint condition version, and I can have one that I can just like piss on and open up. And if it gets bent or my kids bend it, I'm not going to worry about it.
I need to go back through all mine and like back the ones that are good. A lot of them are, whatever. Like, I have some decent issues of a couple things, but I just want to go back and read a lot of them, man. Tell you the truth. Most of my stuff's in pretty damn good condition, though. Some of it's got some rolls in it just from being stacked, But I got some stuff there. I need to, maybe this spring, I'll go through and, like, I got that Savage Dragon #1 I'd like to slab that was in like super good condition, and some other stuff just for the love of it. Yeah. But yeah, it was so cool to catch up with my buddy, man. And I was like, you got to tune in. It's like, got these friends that I made, and they've all been friends since high school. And we just sit around and, talk about awesome stuff. And he's like, yeah. So if you're out there, bike maker, welcome. Whatever this is.
Yeah.
Thank you for viewing. Might be the only one tonight.
Might be the only one. It's okay. We need as many viewers as we can.
Yeah. He went off and he's like into anime and land though, like versus like regular comics, and that's like his jam a lot. Yeah.
Anime?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm hardcore anime too, but old school. Like I haven't watched anything new. I probably
you gotta watch Dan to Dan, man. It's really good.
I heard that's really good.
It's really good.
Yeah. There's so much good stuff out there, and now I'm trying to bounce between figuring out whether the show we do is either going to be 2D animated like an anime or a live action.
Do live action, and we'll just practice like making jerky movements, and then we'll use a stop motion filter and make it claymation.
You could do that.
I've seen actually they have some pretty good filters for that.
Yeah.
Some style things. It's like that guy. I think I posted in the chat. He was doing he was emulating the style of like the holiday special animations. Man, he did such a good job because somehow he could, like when they animate, maybe it's like the snowman or something in the Frosty thing. He's got like the upper lip and the bottom lip, and it just makes a V, and somehow he could do that. He could be like he got it so good.
Oh man, Zach, are you gonna pop in?
I don't know. Is Doc going to continue spilling pearls of wisdom, or is he?
Wow, ass.
What?
I don't know. I kind of took offense to that, dude.
Doc, it was actually meant in actual full honesty. I actually am a big admirer of you.
Oh well, I admire you too.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact alone that your Zoom background is full of stuff from my childhood that I thought I'd forgotten. Just staring at it brings it all back, and I know that all is right with the world.
Okay, man.
I'm not trolling you, dude. I actually hold you in really high esteem. So
I do.
Don't think I was trying to.
I know. I was just being silly, man.
While you were talking.
It's all good, bro. Fine. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh.
Love you too.
Yeah. I just want to. Nah, forget it. I'm not going to do that.
We're ending on a nice note.
No.
It was going to involve a tube.
No.
No. I was what are they talking about? Anyway, no. Actually, I wanted to run an idea about you guys.
Mm.
So,
okay.
So before we got sidetracked, let me share my screen. All right. Just so.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Entire screen. Make sure you guys don't see the donkey porn.
That's way worse than what I said.
I would kick him, but I just don't think he knows any better.
Yeah. Hey, Zach, before I put that screen up, man, you want to change it from that image because it's going to show your private chat. So.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
All right. So Romantasy, you know what it is. Basically, it's fairy and dragon porn. All right.
And this is something we should.
Oh, is this like the hot centaur porn you showed?
Oh yeah. Well, look at this stuff. Like
I thought we successfully dodged this. How did we come back around?
I don't understand.
Guys, bear with me. Okay. There's a method to my madness.
Okay.
All right. So if you go to the top bestsellers let's go to the top bestsellers in fantasy. Oh, why is it Christian fantasy? How did I get there? Okay. Anyway, so why Amazon is so fucked.
Ooh, what about a Christian romance book about hot centaur?
Anyway, so this is the main fantasy bestseller, As you can see, it's pretty much it's a short version. Beautiful, strong female character, powerful, damaged male hero. Throw in dragons, fairies, add situations that if they were done in real life would probably get you arrested, but if it's in fiction, it doesn't really matter. And what you got is, a whole new generation of female writers who are cleaning up. I mean, basically, these are all the people who grew up reading YA in the early 2000s, and they all got really big off of Book Talk, which is basically TikTok about books. Basically, a bunch of women on TikTok talking about how much they love, about the books they like, which apparently involve dragons and sex. Not sex with dragons. That's a whole other.
That
genre.
would be my area. That
will probably get me kicked.
That's a whole adult toy line.
Yeah, Bad Dragon. Heard of that?
But so now, here's the thing though. So I mean, it's even got a few shows on Netflix about this. This is actually based on the Shadow and Bone series.
I watched that one.
Yeah, it wasn't bad actually.
It wasn't bad.
And the Mortal Instruments. Actually, that's my generation earlier. Blood Origin wasn't very good. I really want to see season 2 of The Sandman, but I don't know if that's going to happen given all that we know. Given all that we now know about Neil Gaiman.
What do we know?
Apparently he's
he's a predator.
Yeah, he's another Hollywood pervert, basically.
He's a sex. A few months ago, he's a sex pest.
He got in trouble.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Another male feminist gets caught being a sex pest. Shocker.
Much because I really wanted to see what they would do with season 2 of The Sandman, but
are they going to cancel it?
I don't know. Who knows?
I can't imagine they'll cancel
Dude,
it.
I totally missed that, man.
Well, now you know. And
I mean, dude, he's got lots of shows out. That's crazy.
Well, but anyway, so the point I'm trying to make though is, right now, basically everything that's fantasy sci-fi related is being aimed towards the female audience because apparently that's where the money is. But what I wanted to point out to you guys is that, I've been marketing my own books on the side. Shameless plug and all that. I'm not going to show you the actual sales things. Well, right now because that is kind of personal, but I've basically been. Let me try this real quick. No, I'm not going to do that. So basically, what I found with I've been running Facebook ads for my novels for like a few months now. I mean, I'm still in the learning phase, still figuring out what works, what doesn't. But for the last week or so, I've actually been making money. I'm actually turning a profit this week.
Hey, congrats!
Fantastic.
Yeah, so this one here, the title is total shit. I mean, this year I don't know what I was thinking when I came up with Warrior on the Edge of Memory. I was listening to an album by Hawkwind called Warrior on the Edge of Time, and I thought, hey, that's really cool. I'm going to rip that off. So
I think it's a cool title, actually.
I like the title. Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, and this is the best AI cover I could come up with on short notice.
That looks great.
Yeah,
I did like it, and it's actually at a which if you know anything about Amazon ranking, this is actually like it was at 1 million in a million rank. But here's the thing though, when I the thing about Facebook ads, they give you a lot of data, and I started digging into okay, who's clicking? I figure whoever's clicking on the links is probably the same kind of people who are actually buying the books. Mm-hmm. And it was overwhelmingly male. Yeah. I mean, something like out of like a $50 ad buy for a week, like maybe like 42 of it was like identified as male.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that got me thinking.
This is on Facebook?
Well, Facebook ads.
Facebook ads, yeah. I love those. It's so cool if you run an ad there at all the insights.
Yeah. And well, the thing is that I've been using the Matthew J. Holmes method for Facebook ads, which means it's a lot of testing. I'm getting better at it. I think after about a month or so, I might be at the point where I can actually start like putting some serious money into this. If I actually had serious money, I put it maybe like $10 a day, and I probably see a decent return. But it got me thinking. it got me thinking. There is a major gap in the market right now for books, comics, for that are unabashedly targeted towards male readers.
Yes.
I mean, look, we're
Yeah.
seeing. I mean, look, this shit here, Romantasy. Look, I don't knock it. I mean, if I'm jealous of them, if I'm jealous of them, it's only because I want their success. But no, fair play to Sarah J. Maas and the others. They know their audience. They gave it to them. But their audience, let's be clear, is an audience that the publishing industry, and that includes comics, I think, is overwhelmingly focused on, because right now it's basically being run by they're so focused on the thinking right there. The thinking there is men don't read. Men are only interested in computer games, movies, and porn. So why bother putting out books for them?
Comics used to sell when it had women with big tits in them.
Yeah, or basically the only thing they're going to buy is something it's like a stroke book with with a big titted boob on the front.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy that, because I am selling books, and I'm pretty sure that my readers aren't the same as their readers.
Yeah,
and you know what? Their readers are being satisfied. God bless them. These ladies saw an opening. Maybe not deliberately, but they found an opening in the market, and they're cleaning up. But I'm thinking, where's the equivalent for young male readers? I don't think men are not reading because they don't want to read.
I think you're right. I think we need to do something to satisfy all of the men.
Does that make sense? I mean,
Ramel was talking about that last night.
I mean, it's like chicken or the egg. Are there no books for men because men don't read, or do men not read because there are no books for them? I think it's the latter.
Well, yeah. I mean, so might come as a shock, but what you're talking about is the demographic of adult fantasy. Like,
yeah,
the demographic of adult fantasy is men, 32 to 45 plus, and people who grew up in the 90s, who liked like decent story and action adventure and power fantasy.
Right.
And it's the same people that like classic RPGs. Like,
I'm gonna stop sharing now, by the way. So,
okay. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, it's very astute, and it's very true, and it's not that we don't like reading, or I mean, that's just stupid. But there's nothing for us right now, right? Like, there really isn't. Like, every single major media I mean, this is what the whole talk is about. Like, every single major media company basically took a giant turd on the male audience. They said, we don't want the male audience. We'd rather have this demographic or that demographic.
So well, that gets to my second point.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at the comics, on YouTube. I like your boy Zach, Nerdrotic, all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And the big I'm pissed off thing about today for them was an issue of Star Wars High Republic, which I'm surprised is still out. Like a comic special about a lesbian wedding.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, who cares? Nobody's reading it. And if you Google Star Wars, it doesn't come up anywhere.
Well, there's a couple points there. I think from their perspective, they have to be. I mean, I'm not knocking it. Everyone, look, they have a massive audience, so it clearly works. But they have to be. If they open a show and everything is cool and fine, and they don't have anything then they don't have a show.
So what I'm saying is that I think there's another niche there as well,
mm-hmm.
for product recommendations. So the reason why Romantasy took off is because of something called Book Talk. So Book Talk is basically like it's basically a subsection of TikTok of basically women readers raving about the books they like,
mm-hmm.
and they like these particular books, and those books, which is the reason why. And word of mouth recommendation is the best recommendation there is,
mm-hmm.
and it took off. And I'm thinking, where's the equivalent for entertainment for men, for male readers and male consumers?
Well,
Right here, baby.
Cartoonist kayfabe was one, but then the guy committed suicide.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, is that so what if the Nerdrotic guys, Doomcock, all those guys? I mean, look, I get it. Their business model is their business model. They're all about railing against the dying of the light. But I don't think that's going to be sustainable over the long term because again, the Vive ship's coming, and a year from now, when all the things they're complaining about, like and are basically. I mean, the changes are already happening. We're still seeing entertainment because in Hollywood and others, there's a 2-year lead time for new products. So in 2 years from now, it's going to be the other side complaining about how there's no more gay characters or why trans characters are no longer so heavily featured, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't think that business model is going to be sustainable because it depends on an atmosphere of outrage and anger that's going to go away. But I think there is a niche if you're operating in that space. There is a niche for someone who can tell a male audience that's desperate for stories, that doesn't want to just like play video games, which by the way are, there's problems there as well, but who's desperate for someone to read, just something to entertain them with, that who to do for the male reader what Book Talk did for female readers. And I'm thinking, yeah, there's a big opening for that right now. For someone to go on there and say, okay, I read book X by this guy. If you're looking for a rip-roaring adventure that leaves you wanting more, this is what you want. It's got a dashing hero, beautiful heroine. Man saves a damsel in distress, and she thanks him for it, and she thanks him for it. Yada yada yada. A little bit of sex if that's what you're into. Read it, buy it, love it. There's an opening for that right now. Nobody's doing that, at least for books, and I'm not really for comics. I mean, all the comic channels I see, even comics by Perch, who's generally speaking, I think one of the more level-headed ones out there. It's just pissing and moaning about how much they hate what DC and Marvel have become. All right, fair enough, but instead of I get it, negativity sells, but why not start doing recommendations as well? It's like, okay, basically Superman's gay, Spider-Man's a simp. Here's something from another guy that you might like. Here's a new publisher. They're putting out old school, two-fisted tales that and they're not expensive, and you can, and they're available. Why not, read this instead? Stop pissing and moaning and start recommending. I'm thinking
interesting.
Maybe we could do something like that. I mean, yes, we want to focus on our own product. But
well, I've thought about this because that's what Cartoonist Kayfabe did, and they were scaling. They were my favorite YouTube channel because it's very niche for sure because they had the same background that we have, like the comic side of us, right? So it was two guys, hardcore comic nerds and pros. So they were able to, like indie pros, but pros, had books out, and so they would review comics the way that Avery and I and Andrew and Rommel would talk about comics for years, like actually looking at the panels and the shots and the storytelling and how everything works. So I'm all for that. I thought about doing it now that they don't do it anymore. I just didn't want to. I'm kind of like, man, I don't know about fighting somebody's concept.
I'm thinking, what we could do.
Wait, let me. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You got no. It's a great idea and it's inspiring. So let me just finish my thought. But maybe there's a spin because we're a much more diverse group. We're a bigger group. We're not two people. We're a bunch of people. Maybe there's something that we could do in that where we have like, a comic review, like we just kind of rotate, right? Like one night is like one segment is the comic review thing, and the next segment is like you or Flint talking about tabletop RPGs or fantasy books or whatever, and just kind of rotate through, right?
Because I think that would be a good thing, and it'll boost it, and it'll give people a reason to tune in, So I think maybe we should like devote a little bit of time to that, like not too much, like give each guy like maybe like 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
And explain why it's good. I mean, I don't know. I mean, look. I mean, it worked for the Romantasy writers, and they're currently millionaires. So
Right.
why wouldn't it? And I think, like I said, I think there's a big there's an opening for this. I think, and so why we might as well fill it. Why let someone else take the opportunity?
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I think that's a good point. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I mean, for sure, it's hard to cut through the crap. 100%.
That's
I
what
think it's like
started buying
one of those
Alterna.
things where sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just had a brilliant thought. I think it's one of those things where men aren't allowed to do the fantasy thing because there's a very large narrative of, especially with the Zoomers, and you see it on Twitter all the time. It's get fit, do the thing, but lock in, alpha male. You know what I mean? Like, you're not supposed to read that kind of stuff anymore once you're like in the world. At least you see that on at least crypto Twitter a lot with these kids kind of following this thing, because that's just part of the backlash, right? That's like the natural reaction from the backlash. So if you provide an environment where it's like, yeah, you can read this stuff, and here's why it's good for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just feel like you gotta give people permission to continue that kind of like, being into that material, like on the wide thing, because the result of like with the female readers and stuff like that, like what Zach's talking about. I mean, that's not like really a new thing. It's been something that has been targeted for a long time, starting all the way from when they first started bringing manga over, and finding stuff that catered to like female readers. And they've always been like female manga readers, I think, have always been, at least in the US, like something that's desired, right, and less catered to. This is like this natural progression where it's okay, like, still to stay into that now. Like, it is so weird. It's like a complete reversal of what it used to be, where like guys like us would still read these type of books, but girls, like back in the day, like you have a lot of less female nerds than you do guys our age. But it's like totally reversed now. So like providing that kind of like, yeah, it's cool, like here's why you should check this out. I think it's a cool idea is what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of the challenges that I've had with like trying to figure out like the show concept is a little easier. There's challenges with that too, but that's a little more like traditional and that's my background. So I'm like, okay, we're going to make a show and like a show. Mm-hmm. But this kind of concept is a little harder because in our space, in the entertainment sort of, and in this space specifically, you're either like, you're just, most of the guys who do this kind of content are just like rage baiting, like they're just read the article, give your take on it, shit on that person, right? It's getting angsty and getting people like to feel something, and it's easier to make people feel like anger than it is also make them feel happy or something. So like I have no problem with like Nerdrotic and those guys. I mean, it's but it's a very well produced show. It's totally produced. Fake laughter, cued laughter, like it's a produced show. Like they're very smart, very, very smart. But their job is to shit on mainstream culture. And what they're doing now that they've done such a good job at shitting on mainstream culture, they're going to start selling their own products, right? And they're going to make a fortune, of course. But they're selling their own books now, and they're going to sell their own comics, and they're going to sell their own toys and all that kind of crap and whatever. But they have to constantly shit on the mainstream. Like they can't really love anything because it doesn't get as many views as shitting on something.
Yeah.
and that's just kind of the way it is, unfortunately. So
Well-
that's my problem. That's been the challenge. It's like I don't really want to. I mean, I certainly feel this way,
Yeah.
but I don't. Just my natural personality is not that of wanting to like read an article or read a tweet and then publicly shit on somebody.
Well,
Mhm.
the thing is that, and the other problem, and I think I mentioned before, is that bit. First off, that I think that particular market is pretty much saturated at this point. There's, there's dozens of channels of people, of would-be influencers shitting all, basically pissing, basically following down the road of Neurotic, Doomcock, Midnight's Edge, Critical
Mhm.
Drinker, all the rest.
Yeah,
And just basically shit. You basically like saying anything that comes out at this point, even if it's actually good, you'll find a reason to shit on it because
right. Well, that's what I'm saying,
the
right?
thing is that I think that business model is about to hit its expiration date because people can't stay angry forever.
Mm.
I think at some point, I think the rage bait economy, people just, I don't watch those channels anymore. I mean, the only ones I really watch are Doomcock and Midnight's Edge, and that's because they actually have like actual interesting insights beyond this sucks, it's woke, death to the woke and all that stuff. I mean, they actually have interesting analysis about the film industry, and also Doomcock's really funny. But I don't think I've watched Neurotic in like months because I don't need to. I don't need to be reminded how much everything sucks. I know.
Right.
It sucks. What are you doing to make it better? That's what
Right.
I want to hear. I think there are going to be people who are going to be. I think there's going to be a contraction in that particular field over the next couple of years because it's not sustainable. People can't stay angry all the time. It's easy to stay angry when let me put it another way. It's easy to stay angry when the Democrats are in office.
Mm.
But we're already seeing course corrections by major studios and publishers and the like who've kind of realized that they basically pissed off their audience.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to sustain a rage bait foundation when there's nothing really to be angry about? I mean, again, like I said, latest video from your boy Zach and all the rest were about basically a Star Wars High Republic comic that, let's be honest, nobody outside of a few people in San Francisco has even heard of is probably even going to read.
Right.
I mean, you're really grasping at straws there, I think. So yeah, I'd like to see us try to do something positive, like you said, maybe like set up a section and during the stream where, maybe once a week, maybe like each of us highlight something new that we like and why we like it and where they can get it, and not because we're shilling it. Let's make it very clear. I like this book because I read it and I enjoyed it, and I want you to enjoy it. I'm not being paid for this. This is my honest opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be if nothing else, it would give people a reason to tune in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
I mean, no, I don't know. I'm not sensing a lot of enthusiasm in your voice.
No, I think it's. I'm thinking. I think you've got me thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something that I've definitely thought of, and I think you're dead on. I don't think you're wrong at all.
No, I mean, Avery, what do you think?
I wouldn't really have anything to contribute to it
Well,
because I don't read new
No.
comics.
No, Avery, you've watched cartoons, kayfabe, dude.
Yeah,
Like
They talk about old comics.
We wouldn't be doing new comics. We would be looking at like
old comics.
we would be looking at like Walter Simonson's X Factor run.
Oh yeah.
See? That's what we're talking about.
I mean, look, if I was doing books, I do new books that I've read, but I'd also point out to like older books that no one's really heard of.
Well, now you would have to set up a table or something or show it on screen. You can't you can't have
most of them would be ebooks. I mean, not the actual physical books. I don't.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't buy I don't really buy physical books anymore because I just don't have the space for them. So, yeah, I mean, I basically show the Amazon page for the books I like. I'd explain why it's cool, and yeah.
I've never read an ebook.
Just
I-
download the Kindle app on your phone and start reading.
I can't. It doesn't compute with me.
I mean, look, it's the fact is like the whole indie writer scene, which is where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on.
Oh, I know. That's how you do it. Yeah, I get it.
I mean, yes, there are print books available, but like print on demand, honestly, it's basically a rip-off machine. Most people who operate in this space, they use high POD prices as an incentive to get people to buy the ebook. That's what. First off, the royalties are higher. So with a print, let me put it this way: with my print books, I'm getting a royalty rate of maybe 15% if I'm lucky. So out of an $11 book, I'm getting maybe like $2 back. But the same book sold as an ebook for like $7, I'm getting $4 back.
That's good.
70 or even higher. Like 70% royalty rate, as opposed to like 10% for print.
Because of the difference between shipping, right? Physical versus
shipping, cost of materials, time and labor, because you're actually printing it. It's actually being printed and bound, and then someone at the Amazon office, someone at an Amazon warehouse has to physically box it up and post and mail it.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, look, I like print books as much as anyone, but I've gotten far too used to having my entire library in my pocket. I mean, when I'm at the gym, I'm reading between reps.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, all right. So you want to start? You guys want to start doing that after the holiday, maybe?
Yeah, I'm gonna think about it. I want to think about how we can do it, as a show thing. I think, and we can definitely talk about it. Like definitely the structure of all the stuff is going to change. Like, well, I mean, the way this started was, Avery and Andrew and I did this for like 8 years or something, every single Friday, just because that's what we always did. Like, we always just talked about shit. It was a way to just fucking hang out on a Friday night.
Right.
And then when streaming started happening, we were like, well, we're already doing this privately. Like, why not just put it on? Like, hit a button.
Well, Andrew's always talking about how we start monetizing content.
Yeah, I know. We're trust me. Next year we're going to be doing a lot of intentional marketing.
Andrew just wants to rub Todd's nose in it.
Yeah, he's
his
just
channel.
He's just messing with me. But he also knows that and I'm not, that the minute I put my mind to it, I'm going to blow his channel out of the fucking water. So I love him to death, but
yeah,
I'm gonna tear him up. So,
I mean, look, the fact is, I think like if we can create a male-oriented version of Book Talk, even on a small scale, we're going to get more than 4 or 5 viewers on the live stream. If we can figure out a way to pull it off successfully.
Yeah. I think we just have to think about the structure of the show.
Oh yeah, you get to where you got 10,000 people who will buy a comic regularly.
Yeah.
Buy a novel regularly.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what we would do. Like, I mean, the reason that would benefit us is if we actually structured it like a show, and we're talking about comics and fantasy novels and tabletop role-playing games or whatever, or gaming. Well, that happens to be what we're also selling.
Right.
So,
yeah. That's
so
like
you're
it's like baiting the hook.
Yeah, you're attracting the people that you're also going to pitch.
Exactly.
It's just that I will say this: the only thing though is what, like, the way that Kayfabe guys did it that I thought was really smart is they only met up like once a month or something, like every other week or something. Like what they would do is like they would get together on a Saturday or something, or a Friday, like one day a week. Or one day out of the month, and just record all the episodes. Like, they would spend all day recording all these episodes, and then they would just bank them. So, like, unfortunately, even after Ed Piskor passed away, they were unlocking episodes. They had like a month of content. Like, it was like the next 30. Like, it paused and it went away, and then when they decided to just like his last wishes were to have everything uploaded. So like they just unloaded like one every day, and it was like for like a good solid month, it was just new videos. So it's a really good way to just kind of evergreen content. You know what I mean? It also makes it less stressful, right? Because we can still meet up once a week. That's not a big deal. But like, if we were to dedicate like an afternoon, you know, I mean, that's the other thing too. Is like if we have 2 hours, and you know, their videos were like 30 minutes. They don't have to be that long. If you broke it up into 10 or 15 minutes, you've got like 8 episodes in 2 hours.
I honestly, Todd, I think a 2 hour show about just us plugging us like hyping stuff, it's gonna be a bit much. I mean, if
No, you're missing it. What I'm saying is the way that the cartoonist kayfabe guys did it is they recorded for a day at like 8 hours, and then they chopped it up into like 15-minute segments. So if we did it for 2 hours, we could chop that up into 15-minute segments.
All right.
And what you do is you do it live for the patrons or for the people that are adult fantasy, for the people who are holders, just like they did. Basically, you could watch them film their show live. If you wanted to stick with them for like 4 or 5 hours when they recorded their stuff like once a month, you could hang with them live or once a week, whatever they did. In their Patreon group, you could watch them record it live. And then all they did is they never released a 4-hour thing. They would just chop it up and then just drop it out, right? So like 1 4-hour segment of them doing it once a week is an episode a week at 30 minutes, right? So you can, you know, multiple times a week you're just doing these drops. So I think it's plausible. I think we actually could be able to. I think we could do it in a way. I mean, I think the thing that I'm thinking about now, Zach, because you kind of introduced it, is I had been thinking about the cartoonist kayfabe thing, and I've thought about it for a while, but I also don't want to just like ape their shtick. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then the difference, of course, is that we've got Doc, we've got you, we've got, you know, I mean, Ramel does movies now too. Like, Flint has tabletop gaming. Like we have such a diverse group that we could all pitch. That even if we did one, if each of us did one thing, that's like six episodes chopped up.
All right.
You know what I mean? So
I mean, you know, Andrew, we got Andrew and Avery for comics as well. You know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And he's got and Andrew has a new nerd, which is like graded comics. I mean, so he can actually talk about it from a retail standpoint or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that might be something.
And you know, I mean, you know, maybe we can even bring some crypto stuff into it as well, because you know, we're in that space. You know, talk about new NFTs coming out, that sort of thing, or would that create problems for us?
No, it wouldn't create problems. It's just not. I don't know if it would gel too. I think the channel. I think it would be more traditional, at least on this side.
You could talk about product, but you wouldn't want to frame it around the financial instrument.
Right.
Yeah. You only speak on the merit of the actual.
Oh, hey, speaking of Doc, have you heard about what that? Well, I think we mentioned this yesterday. The Hawk Tuah girl. She apparently came out of hiding now.
Yep.
And there are a lot of guys mad at her right now.
Well, I mean, it's not really her fault. It's these jackasses that she got hooked up with out in LA that took advantage of her. And I'm sure she's reeling right now, but I feel bad for her, honestly. But then again, you know, I don't know.
Know who you're in bed with, I suppose. Not.
Yeah.
Pun not intended, by the way.
Yeah. Well, it's impossible once you get out there. I mean, that's what Hollywood does, man, especially for those 15 minutes of fame type people. It's like, we're going to bring you out here. And she did good at first. Whoever she surrounded herself with seemed to protect her pretty well. But whoever let the wolves into the, you know, into the, I don't know, whatever the euphemism is. Yeah, bad decision there for sure.
Well, I mean, I've noticed though that in the crypto space, there's actually a trend, maybe a micro trend of women who are coming out of the adult entertainment area, who are basically either getting into it on their own or basically being used as the face for it. And Well, like for example, there was a porn star called Lana Rhodes. You know, she basically, she's now like a big cheese on OnlyFans. Like a year ago, she was involved with an NFT, and it turned out to be a rug pull. And like a lot of money came in, and then she offered out with something like $100,000 or something like that.
Yeah, it happens. Or she might have. It might have just been the people again that set up the stuff for her. It's like when the greed index goes high and stupid money comes flowing in, then that's when people get roped into these ideas that, we should do this for you, and we'll set up a charity or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I think the whole crypto porn intersection thing is interesting when it comes to these sorts of scams, because there are a lot of young guys out there whose brains go out the window when they see a pair of tits.
Well, it psychologically, physiologically, it plays on the same sort of reward centers, and so like if you find people that are addicted to one thing, you can easily get them addicted to the other, and there's a lot of crossover there.
All right.
If you're like shitcoin trading and meme coin trading, it's bad. Like I think that's what kind of like broke me, because I was trying to understand like the meme coin stuff a little more. So I kind of like got there, and then I was trading a little bit, and it was like, whoa, like it'll fuck your head up, because it's so high frequency, and it is just like a gamble. I had to stop, and that's like, I think that's part of what like wrecked me the past couple weeks, is that I went too far, because I felt like I did when I was on drugs, still like legitimately on drugs, where everything was just zooming around me, but I couldn't stop clicking, sort of thing. It was like not good. So I had to like pull that back. But yeah, it's
so you traded. I refuse. I know I'm missing like millions of dollars, but I just was like, you know what? I have a family, so I'm not going to touch. It's very hard. It's very hard, because I routinely see like, oh my God, I put $400.
It's really hard.
It's worth $350,000.
Yeah, but for everyone that does that, there's a bunch of losses. The problem is that it's like, is that especially on Solana. So a lot of this like AI framework is on Solana, right? And there are people making good stuff, and the frequency that stuff gets launched and again, like you have to look really, really hard, because it'd be like, oh, it works. You can chat with the thing. It apparently does something, like looks like it might be a working product, right? Put a couple bucks in, boom, all of a sudden, bam, drops the website 404s, the Twitter's gone, and it's like, this is like, this is supposed to be the discovery zone for people, is because there's the memes and there's the AI and whatever. It's like, it's really, really bad. Yeah. Back in the day, during the DeFi summer, there were people launching products that were experimental, but and there were rugs as well, but it wasn't like you literally have about a 1 hour window, even on a good product, to get in and get out, or like a 45-second window to decide if this thing's real or not. And it's fucked up, man. But I learned a lot, but I also like it damaged my brain a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. But there is good stuff out there. And then there's stuff like,
let me ask you this. Were you actually, I guess, and this is no judgment at all, but I'm assuming that the stepping back was because you were losing, or was it like win-loss?
It's win-loss. But it just, one, I don't have the time for it. And two, I felt like I did when I was still doing a lot of drugs and trying to interact with this. Like it brought out like that kind of like short-term dopamine starvation kind of stuff. Yeah. And it just, and then when that happens, and then if I spent more time trading than I should have been doing something else, then I start stressing out and whatever. Like I'm not a good trader like that, like I would love to have that 100x gain or whatever, but in order to get on that, if you're not in the cabals, you just have to be literally watching for like a good portion of the day, or paying, like really, really paying attention to what's coming out to try and get in early enough.
Yeah,
It's
I've
like
thought-
it's really it's not like it used to be though, you know.
Yeah, I think it's what the thing that interests me about it, and I may try to play with it in 2026, because I think if there's one thing that I'm always trying to figure out what the meta is and what the new play is going to be, and like I think I know what it's going to be for 2025. I'm pretty positive now, but one of the hints for 2026 and beyond is, I think when the bull run is over, I think the bear is now going to be focused on meme coins, at least for the foreseeable future. So I don't think it's going to be like the last couple years where there was kind of nothing to do. Like there was no, like, trading volume was so low that you just couldn't do anything. Like I think after the bull is over, I think it's going to rotate into meme coins, and it's going to be meme coins for like 2 years.
Could be. I mean, it's the easiest thing to do, but it's also the absolute worst thing to focus on that humanly possible that the industry could do, because it predicates on dumb money coming in, right? It's like legit people preying on dumb money.
Yeah.
So they can go and then build something like real with that's where they're doxed or whatever, with all that money that they just like raked in from, you know, whatever it was. Like if we got coordinated, like, look, man, I mean, I actually understand all the tricks. Like if we got the right tools and the way to like split money amongst a bunch of like newly generated wallets without being able to trace it back to an originating wallet, so it doesn't look like the team controls 30% of the supply or whatever. Like I know how it all works now. With a little bit of orchestration, it would be easy to get a token to bond on Pump Fund and then, you know, and raise it up and like rug pull, and no one would ever know, right? But I just I can't do that. I personally can't do it, but I understand how to, and I understand what happens, and I understand why people get so greedy, because it's so fucking easy now.
Yeah.
In the DeFi summer, it would cost you 20, 30, 60 grand if it was a complicated smart contract. If it was like a DeFi thing or a yield farm where you're doing like some yields and you had some child contracts and things like that.
Yep.
Now to launch a token, it's literally, I mean, it's essentially free.
Yeah.
And once it bonds, you get a percentage of what you put in initially as liquidity from Pump Fund. You just get that back. Or you do little buys and you sell, and you just make like that your initial back. That's kind of like how you're supposed to do it. If you're the dev, you know, it's not even a dev. If you're the person that made the thing and put a little money to get it started, you're supposed to buy up and then just recoup your initials and then let it go. Right. That's the fair launch thing. But most of the time, then you've got like a bunch of bundled wallets also buying shit up, and then you tank them. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's like some things should be hard to do here.
Yeah.
And it's not. And that's when it gets real messy, because it obscures the people doing the actual good stuff.
Yeah,
Anyway.
well, that's why I don't touch. Like, I wouldn't touch that stuff. Well, and the other thing too is, like, even the ones that take off, it's so insider, it's so cabal. Like,
it is. And sometimes it's just like weird shit, you know, just like, just some weird thing that actually like makes people giggle enough to where they're like, yeah, let's just do it, and everyone piles.
Yeah, but
in.
even that
So
is
even that's
cabal.
like coordinated.
It's all fake. Like,
yeah.
it's all of these pumps are different teams of people, and the ones that pump hard, they actually get to like 1 million plus or 500,000 plus or 10 million plus, 5 to 10 million market cap. They're all professional teams that have the capital to pump, and what they do is it's a slow rug, right? Like they don't just pump it and take the money.
Yeah.
They pump it enough until until people say, oh, this is real, and it funnels in.
Yeah.
And then they start peeling off their money slowly, right? And then maybe they take a dip to pull the rest of it out, and then the rest of the stuff they have is just pure profit. Like they just get they make a fucking fortune off of it. Man. and
Yeah.
they just peel money off of it every day for forever, until it tanks or until they're filthy rich.
Yep.
That's
Pretty
the thing.
much.
When you have like, $1 trillion supply and you have $100 billion or 100 billion tokens,
Mhm.
like you can sell 1 billion a day. You know what I'm saying? And like,
Well, I mean, but they're largely a liquid though.
yeah.
All of that, it's a liquid.
Well, not if you're a pumping, not if you're a team that is willing to put in money to.
Well,
pump
yeah,
it.
if you're market making and stuff, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They're all market making, all of them.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. But it fucked me up. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, I'm glad you're not doing that shit. That shit's dangerous, man.
It is dangerous. I didn't lose. I mean, I lost some money, but I mean, I think if I really took a look at like my total, it's like I'm a horrible trader then because like I've only that is really bad. It's not that I've lost, it's that I've not lost nor won. I'm like at square one. It's like,
That's a win.
I
That's
didn't
a
move
win.
the fucking needle at all.
That's a win, bro. That's a win.
Yeah, it's a win, but yeah, sacrificing what though, man?
Time.
Time. Yeah, sure. Anyway, it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, shit, man. What about you, Dusty? You jumping into meme coins anytime soon?
Who's muting me? Because I don't mute myself. I use a switch.
I
Someone keeps
don't-
muting me.
I don't think I muted you. I'm sorry.
Someone
if I
muted
did.
me.
I don't think I
Anyway, I'm gonna bounce. I got a headache. I just scheduled like 100 things. It's like I'm done. I'm good. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Try
man.
not to kink shame too much or whatever
Yeah.
it is you boys are into.
Yeah, are we doing? We're not. Are we? When are we doing this again? Are we doing this next Thursday and Friday? We're taking time off, right?
I'm taking time off because
Yeah, Dusty's not going to be here.
Crazy.
Dusty's not going to be here.
Yeah.
All right, we'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Bye, Dusty.
All right. I'll see you guys soon.
Peace
See,
out.
man.
Bye. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye, Dusty.
Maybe can I boot him? Yeah, we should talk. I mean, I don't know. What are you guys doing next Thursday and Friday? Should we like skip the next 2 weeks and just like come back in January, or what are we doing?
Sure.
I don't know.
What
And I'm
up,
sure
Splitter?
Andrew will want to do next Friday because he doesn't have a life. I don't know. Nerd Den's fine. I don't care about it. Like, Nerd Den we can do. I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it off camera. Anyway, well, Good Friday. I can't believe next week is Christmas, man, and Hanukkah and stuff. Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty wild.
I can't believe it's the end of the year.
I did find a toy I want to get because I never knew it existed till fairly recently.
Mm.
In 1979, when they put out the first Alien movie,
Mhm.
there was an Alien action figure that was sold 12 inches.
Oh shit, that's cool.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I didn't know it existed back then, and it's pretty good for made in the 1970s.
I have
Yeah,
a. Go ahead. No,
it's
you're
like
good.
that would be cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
pretty
I'm not doing anything. Well, we'll talk about it afterwards. Plus, I want to show you guys something when we're not live.
All right, well, let's do that. We'll head off and we'll talk in the green room. So
Bye.
publicly, bye everybody.
Bye.
Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, and maybe New Year's. I don't know. We'll see what's up. Whatever.
Merry Shaka Khan.
Merry Shaka Khan. All right, bye guys.